All right. I'm not sure if anyone is there, but yeah, let's get started today. I think today we're gonna try doing two things. Master, good day, friend. So today we're gonna do two things. We're gonna round up some stuff, hopefully quickly here. Then I'm moving our core URL library into the separate kind of library. So today we're gonna open source our front-end core library. And as some of you have maybe read on Discord, I've actually shared the link in general. So I've created this new little library called Luigi or Louis GUI, as I called it. And we're gonna basically move all of our front-end components into this. And then you guys can also contribute with some features. So I'm actually gonna maybe pin this thing to this stream so we can actually yeah, I think that's okay. So we're gonna be playing with that a bit today as well. Give me 1 second. Did I by accident open this in a new tab? In a new Chrome? Yeah, I have. Okay, I see. Okay, let's open that up here and we'll keep it open. But before we do that, we need to fix up some stuff on Programmer Network. Yeah. So we need to fix a few things. Yeah, this one is exploding now, so that's great. So hopefully we can do this relatively quickly, and then we can go. Yeah, so let's see. Cannot read properties. Title. Meetup.title. Okay. Manage meetup. Okay. So wait, what is this? This is the Luigi thing. So let's move this Luigi basically over here, maybe. And then let's move the move our front end over here, right? Yeah. Let's close a bunch of this stuff. And then let's see what we have. So we have manage meetups, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what happens. So let's round up some of those things we didn't finish in previous streams. Okay, and then basically organize a meetup. Okay. Yeah, so this guy is actually failing. Item creation, navigate the dashboard, manage meetup. Yeah. Basically here, I believe we are actually failing to pass the actual state, right? And here we're pretty much, we need to no, not really. So this is organizing a new meetup, right? So I don't know why would it need. Okay, so it's, I guess this is related to the form we built. It's okay. It's great. So if we actually go to the meetup form, which I suppose let's see what we've done the last string with it. I guess we're still using this meetup form. Dashboard meetup, yeah. Take a look at that. So if we go over here again, let's see what the actual error is we're getting. Dashboard meetup, dashboard header. Yeah, so for whatever reason, I suppose those things are undefined, and that's where we actually fail. So if we go over here, yeah, so it's most likely this, right? So let's see actually what the meetup is in this context when we try to get to this point, right? Meetup is probably undefined or null or something like that. Yeah, it's undefined. Okay, got it. And see, okay, I see what's happening. All right. So yeah, so we actually forgot to account for basically that we'll need to create a new meetup completely, right? So it's either edit one or so. I think, okay, I see. All right, so all right. So let's just try something very quickly here. So we can do something like this. Then we'll say here, or 8. That's it. Then here. Recognize. Just as a placeholder, let's try that. And this we need to basically show conditionally. We're gonna say here so that. All right, actually, yeah, pretty much the same with both of those. So let me close that dashboard header. All right, great. Organize a new meetup, create your first event. All right, let's see what happened here. So is editable or no meetup action. So that's the correct. Hello, it's me, Mario Tobbs. Good day, my friend. How are you? Good, guys. Good. Just yeah, been a bit with my wife and my kid, and yeah, coded a bit of stream as you saw on Discord, right? Yeah. So we're gonna basically, yeah, I wanna kind of open source all of the components we have, right? Yeah. We're gonna be building this Luigi GUI, right? So I just got inspired by Luigi, right? That's why I called it Luigi. And I generated this little image. I just added this text, generated this little image using Midjourney, right? So yeah, so this is gonna be our official programmer network client library, right? So we're gonna I've moved a lot of components to it already. So we have a storybook here, and we're gonna move the rest of them this week, and then you guys are gonna have access to all of them. And also I'm happy that it's gonna be a separate library, because if we decide to build some new sub-project of Programmer Network, we can then use the image was generated using Midjourney. I can actually go and show you. So I pay maybe $20 a month for this, or no, sorry, $12.5 a month I pay for this. I don't know how come I got logged out. I can show you. Yeah, what happened here. So you can see this is what I generated. today, and I used this one. I said Luigi from Super Mario as a GUI library logo for a React library called LuiGui or Luigi, right? I could have went furthermore, right? I can actually show you where I did that, right? So when you pay for Midjourney, if you're not already, you can go. This is kind of the prompt where I interface with this thing, right? So I could have said, all right, well, you know, generate more variations of this, right? So I could have just clicked version 1, and it's going to now generate more variations of it, right? It's actually generating them now, right? So yeah, this was AI generated. I just don't want to, it's kind of my image now to use, right? My pleasure, man, my pleasure. You can see now it generated 4 more things for me. Let's try something that, let's say, imagine a Luigi from Super Mario writing some code on his computer, right? Let's try this, right? Because this is not a dev final logo, right? But you can see it's amazing, right? For those types of things, it's super nice. Let's see what it actually generates now, what I told it to do, right? Quack, thank you very much, buddy, for the follow. So let's wait and let's see what is it gonna do, right? So now it's actually now it's generating a Luigi writing code on his computer, right? Here it is. You can see that it's generating. So let's see what it actually ends up generating, right? Let's give it a second. 93%. There we go. And you can see it says fast here because I'm paying for it, right? And there it is. I mean, amazing, right? I would say this is pretty impressive, right? And then I can say, right, oh wow, all right. And I could have said a little bit better, right, for a logo. So let's just say something again, right? We can say, imagine a Luigi from Super Mario running code on his computer, vector, no background, logo. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Of course, they fed it a lot of data, right? And a lot of images. It probably consumed billions of images, right? But yeah, for sure. I mean, especially you can do a lot of this now kind of for free, right? If you're like semi-entrepreneur as I am and you like to build products, right? This is pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, you can see like we could easily now, and we probably should actually use one of those instead, right? Let me show you the trick. I recorded the YouTube video for this. For those of you who don't know, I recorded a little guide for this, how you can use this. So let's pick the version 4. I'm gonna upscale version 4, which means we're actually gonna use this version 4 for our logo instead, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna open it in the browser. I'm gonna save it. Let me show you some trick, but I have a video on YouTube on this. So I'm then gonna go to image magic, I think it was called, clipping magic, right? And then I'm gonna actually get rid of the background, right? So I'm gonna turn this back into a vector basically, but just by removing the background. You can actually see now that the background now is gone, right? So that's great. I can say, all right, download that. I'm gonna download it, and then I'm gonna go to Vectorizer AI, right? And what I'm gonna do there is I'm gonna take the same image from which I removed the background, and I'm gonna convert this into a vector, right? Into an infinitely scalable object, right? And you can see now, you see left and right as I zoom in, you see how the vector preserves the quality, while the PNG image in the left actually gets messed up, right? Right, and then next thing what I can do, right, is I can obviously download this again, but I'm downloaded this time as a PNG, and then I can go to Photopea, which is the online version of Photoshop, right, for free. All of this is kind of free now, right? And then I'll drag this in here, and I'll say, okay, create a new project, and I'm gonna say, I don't know, 600 by 600. I'm gonna cut this layer and paste it over here, right? So I'm gonna actually get this this fella here, and I'm gonna paste it in here, and I'm gonna remove the background, and then I'm gonna scale down this image to fit the canvas, right? So I'm gonna actually scale it down. Oops, that's not what I meant. But that's not what I actually wanted to do. Yeah, so let's try that again. So I'm gonna do this, right? Great. So now I center it here, right? Let's take a look. And the great stuff, all of this is free, right? And now just as I did that thing, I can just say here, say Luigi, right? Or Louis GUI, that's our logo, right? I'm gonna say 100 font 100. And I'll grab some color from Luigi, right? You can see in 2 seconds we did this. In 2 minutes we did this, right? We're gonna center this. Something like this. Then I can select both of these layers. I can go to crop and I can click those 3 dots and I can say trim to just cut all the white space around the image. So the image, right, that doesn't have any white space. And then I can move this text a bit to fit this better, right? Whatever, we can just go and add some shadow to it just so it's a little bit more distinct, right? There we go, bam. And now we have our new logo, right? This is, no matter if you're any sort of developer, you will always need to do this sort of stuff. You can be front and back end infrastructure, you always need some images to work with. And we're gonna actually do this PNG, right? We're gonna say Luigi logo, right? Luigi logo, we save this. And then we copy that thing into our library, right? So if we go to our, actually this is Luigi already, this is the new library I started, right? So let's go assets and images, reveal in Explorer, bam, we remove the old logo, we rename this one to logo, right? Logo, and there we go, right? So now if we open the README file, we should in fact have that on top of it, and there we go, right? Now we have Luigi suddenly here as our new logo, right? So you can see with a very few tools, you can get very cool images for free, right? And how cool is that, right? All right, cool. Well, anyway, hope you learned something in those 5 minutes. All right, so going back to our stuff, yeah, let's continue coding and then we can focus on Luigi. We can kind of move some stuff around, right? So let's go back here. Start by organizing a new meetup and create your Good evening, buddy. Hey to you as well. All right. So let's start rounding this up because I'm getting a little bit sick of this feature and of this refactor to say. This guy should at this point actually have all the handlers it needs to create or whatever, right? The only thing we really need now at this stage of this, right, when we call create, and if we actually go to dashboard meetup handle create, so this should actually take us to that meetup when it's created. Let's make sure of that, right? This is a new meetup. Let's write some description that's, I guess, long enough. That's the summary, description, country, Afghanistan, agile. There was an error creating a meetup. All right, is this API or front-end error? Let's take a look at that. So create. Let's take a look. So we did actually create it, right? So it's just that. Get events. I see. Okay. Yeah. So basically, when we redirect, we kind of fail. It seems so handle create. Wait a minute. But why is this actually a problem here? Let's see. Ah, I see, I see. It's okay, it's okay. All good, all good. Perfect. And I don't think that the issue is that now, right? It has to be something else. Let's refresh this view. So let's get to meetups again. So we did, as you can see, create 3 of them or 4 of them. Let's see. We also need to implement that delete. Well, we did. It's just that. Let's try that again. Entry. Pandora. There was an error. Okay, let's see what's happening. So there was an error created. Let's see what the error is. Maybe the data.slug is the error. Maybe we're not getting the slug. Let's see. Right? Yeah, exactly. Cannot read properties of slug undefined, as I assumed. So let's see, actually create meetup. I see what's happening. So we are trying to destructure this data, which this service already actually does for us. So that's the issue, right? So now if I click that, well, yeah, it didn't actually do what I meetups, dashboard meetups. Yeah, and that's also kind of a wrong thing to do, right? But it's okay. So what we actually need to do is, yeah, okay. I see, I see. Matty, my friend, good evening. How you doing? So yeah, so there's, yeah, before we go to Luigi and stuff, moving this stuff, we'll need to do a bit more work here, it seems, right? Because we'll need to make this routing based on the slug or the ID. Because here now, when I go to organize a meetup, that's fine. But when I actually, let's just implement this cancel as well. Handle. So wait a minute, where when I click this, yeah, cancel, handle cancel. Okay, yeah, I see. So essentially handle cancel here, it's going to be a little bit different, right? So we're going to say if no meetup, exactly, right? Otherwise do this. So that should be correct. So if I say this and then I cancel it, Charles92, thank you very much, buddy. That's very kind of you, man. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Thanks for supporting this stream and hopefully this project as well. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, okay, so that's good for the most part. So yeah, I mean, I'm unhappy that we didn't finish this yet in a couple of streams yet, but it's fine. It's a lot of stuff and this needs to be kind of done properly, right? So it's okay to procrastinate a bit here and there, I think. It's just, so we need to make the router a bit smarter because we can see that it's actually very dumb right now. So let's actually maybe start there because that's very annoying. So first and foremost, let's see how I implemented. So I implemented this hook, right? Use tab location. And we can clearly see that use tab location isn't smart enough to... so this fails, I suppose, right? Let's see. Because what this hook is supposed to do, it's supposed to handle my routing across whenever I have some tabs or navigation, right? So if I go to bookmarks and then I refresh, I would expect, yeah, to come back to bookmarks. But as you can see, we're gonna actually go back to account because for whatever reason we have this statement here that failed. So let's see why it fails, right? So let's see what's wrong. Handle on select tab. Let's see why this fails actually, right? Because it fails to find a tab that matches something, right? I mean, I'm always happy to jump on a call with you, Matty. I mean, you are now subscribed for 25 euros, so that's at least sufficient to meet once a month with you, even in person. And I would like that as well. I mean, again, it isn't money, it's mutual value, which I think there could be a lot of value for many people. It could be a lot of value for me that I can make, you know, few hundred or 100 or 200-300 euros and then invest into programmer network, go to Fiverr, you know, just pay designers to produce stuff. And also for you guys, I mean, what is for somebody who works as a software engineer like you, Matty, if I can actually give you a hand, what is 25 euros, right? I think it would be very mutually satisfying. Pillows, good evening, buddy. Good, man, good. Standard stuff, not much, just hacking away and hanging out with people. And JS Mania, good evening, buddy. So yeah, good, man. What about yourself? How are you? I'm very happy to hear that, man. Thank you. We can maybe try. We can maybe, yeah, I can maybe seek and I just feel a little bit. Yeah, it's not a nice thing to like ask for, right? So that's why I made that Patreon, and I'm like, all right, let's see if there are actually two of you. There's two Patreons currently. There was one guy before you, and there's you. So yeah, I mean, it does seem that few people will be interested. About to head back to school. Reading week coming to an unfortunate end. Just enjoy the school, man. I can tell you, I know it sounds silly now. I remember when I was in elementary school and high school and university, I was just dreaming of finishing it. But then when you finish it, you realize actually how great school is compared to some other things. So, you know, just enjoy the process, man. It's very important. Don't you're not miss on anything, right? So I would say just enjoy the process, man. Enjoy the process. Yeah, so both of those are actually undefined. So no, dude, don't. The thing is, you know, actually 10 years after I went to my university, I actually realized that a lot of things that I thought, oh my God, why the hell am I actually learning this? Turned out to be way more valuable than I thought. So for example, let me just give you a few examples. When I went to university, I had business communication and relations. I had some of those classes and I was wondering like, man, what the fuck, why am I learning this shit? I just want to be a programmer, right? I just want to sit and write code, right? But you would be surprised how much some of those skills are going to actually mean to you when you at one point in time, right? So you will realize that programming job isn't just about programming, right? So yes, I mean, of course that some classes have more value than the other, right? There's no question about that, right? But I would say that no matter how often it seems random, keep in mind that a lot of this program that you're going through isn't written by idiots. I mean, some people actually know what they're doing. So in simple words, you know, and I think university is a good place to military service or university or anything like that is a good place to force yourself or teach or force yourself to teach yourself to learn that I don't know how to say it, that not everything in life that you're gonna do is gonna be something that's fun, right? Yeah, I understand what I mean. So in simple words, like university is a good place to get used to that not everything, even in your full-time job as a programmer, is going to be mind-blowingly fun. Sometimes you're going to have tasks and projects which will be super boring, but because you manage to train your brain to go through it, you'll be able to do it, right? Exactly. So you see, like Page is saying, right? So don't just give it time and be open-minded, right? And sure, it's easy to say now from this point, right? I finished school 15 years ago, right? But you know, yeah, give it time. Anything in life given enough time can make sense. All right, so I need to shut up just a little bit. I need to really finish this, and the past couple of streams were amazing streams and a lot of people, but I need to have the sense of accomplishment, and past couple of streams, I mean, okay, it's not true that I didn't have it, but not as much as I would like, right? So let's make sure that yeah, you get what I mean, right? And thank you everybody for your follows, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere at least, and then we can see that this params tab name is actually is undefined, which is actually quite strange, right? Params. So why is our params, right? Why is it tab name is undefined. Let's take a look at that. That's some regression we introduced, right? So if I go here, okay, let's print the params here. Our params, there's something wrong with our params, right? So let's see what it is. I just added that a couple of days ago. I just found it funny. I don't know. I hope that you guys find it funny as well. Ah, shit. It's because of this thing. Yeah. So yeah, there's this wildcard thing which is causing the problem. But didn't I actually? Yeah, actual tab name. Yeah. So yeah, so this is the problem, right? So let's. Yeah, I see. So if we do this now, it should work, right? Wait. Actual tab name, wait. Okay, we're almost there with this, I'm pretty sure. Count undefined. Ah, come on. Come on. What happened to my Amazon sub? It's Pillow. I'm not sure what you mean, man. What do you mean, what happened? No clue. I don't think I can see any of that. So profile, okay. Okay, so that's actually correct, right? Oh, it's find index. That's the problem. Why are we using find? Okay, so never mind. So let's just say here find, right? And then here we're gonna say name is actual tab name, right? I think that would be the correct logic, right? It is showing next to your. I can see that it says Prime Gaming, the avatar. So I think it's fine. I think it looks fine, honestly. And yeah, and this is actually looking for index. So here we would have to say find index, right? But yeah, let's see. What are you working on right now? Just so there are two things we're gonna be working on today. One of them is Luigi. So I'm gonna be moving all of our core components into that library that I wrote. It's just core component library that I'm gonna export into a separate repo, so you guys can also contribute. And then just finalizing the latest things in the dashboard. So so two things today basically. That's the plan. And I think maybe this could be the problem, right? So the index was fine now, right? So that's super awkward. Oh, that's the problem, right? So this if statement is also good, right? No, the Luigi thing that I'm writing is going to be just the core components of Programmer Network. If you go to Programmer Net, the buttons and all of the core components. No, so it's going to be just I'm just going to open source part of the front end of Programmer Network. So I think this is the problem, right? The Luigi is a character from Super Mario, and I was creative, so I called it Louis GUI, right? Original name is Luigi, like this, and I call the library Louis GUI, right? GUI stands, yeah, for graphical user interface. Yeah, exactly. So that's the trick I did. I just added the U to Luigi, right? So you pronounce it Louis GUI, right? meaning the GUI library to say, right? Coffee, thank you very much, buddy. Okay, anyway, guys, let's focus for a bit, and then we're gonna answer in chat and have fun. Can't we just basically do this, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, good, great. So that's fixed. Okay, nice. All right, and I'm also happy to review that stuff. Yeah, exactly, GUI, exactly. I think I wrote it in a library. And actually, let me just do one thing because I've just added a new logo to it. So let me just push that new logo. Didn't we just add a new logo? Yeah, we did. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. So if we go here now, the new logo should be there. There we go. Super. So yeah, this is partially what we're going to be working on today, moving stuff from Programmer Network here so you guys can start contributing. I just generated this, and at the start of the stream, I generated this using AI and then built this logo in Photopea. This is basically where we built it right here in Photopea. So this is what my AI generated. Then we used clipping magic to remove the background. Then we used the vectorizer AI to turn it into a vector. And then I used Photopea to just add this text, right? This text in here. So actually, let's close that up. All right, super. Going back to the Programmer Network. Anyway, now, so that's great now. So that works. All right, so let's keep on going. So dashboard meetup. Then where are the events? Events. And then basically here we need to do something, right? So we need to say events.length. Do this, right? Otherwise, let's just say div here. No events yet, just let's make sure that state is covered. Yeah, and then we're gonna basically use a call to action component that we have here instead, right? So we're gonna say call to action, and then we'll find some other place where we're using it, and then we'll just grab it and paste it there, and then blah blah blah, right? So call to action. Beautiful. Let's call this group work. Let's import that icon from our icon library. And now if I go here and I say we did. Organize your first event. Yeah, so we need to activate this thing now, right? To send you to, yeah, okay. That's great. Organize an event. I mean, I've tried many things in my career, but that's generally not what I use, no. Have I tried it? Yes, many times. Am I using it? No. Because I'm a programmer, I don't need the no-code solutions, right? Those products are not meant, they're not targeted at me, they're targeted at people who can't code, right? And don't take me wrong, I mean, some of those products are good and they do what they're supposed to do, right? Sure, but they're not doing it for me. Thank you everybody for your follows and stuff like that. Organizing that. Okay, that's a little bit strange. Yeah, all right. First event, maybe. First. No, that's not what I want. Let's smile. User smile, yeah, organize. Tiling, I'm not sure what that is, honestly. I'm not sure what tiling window manager is. No events. We have already done that. We have already done that, JS Maniac. I just haven't published the app yet. I have already done that using Progressive Web App. And actually, no, this is my ads. Give me 1 second. Where was it? Ads. Yeah, this one. I just haven't deployed that ever. But we do have it already for Android. It's just I need to. So when we stabilize thinking, when we stabilize some of the things and focus on some of the other things. For sure, we're gonna have the app on iOS and Android store, because again, we don't have to build separate apps. We have already a progressive web app that works perfectly on mobile. So we'll just absolutely. I mean, again, it all really depends what your ambitions are and what do you want to do 369, right? I'm not saying that necessarily if you're a developer you shouldn't use those. I mean, you absolutely go for it. If you need to if this programmer network project was a race, right, was a race somewhere, right? If this was ship fast, fail fast, I would have for sure used a lot of managed services, managed databases. I would have, right? So if you want to ship something fast, go for it. Absolutely, right? Don't even in insanity, right? Oh yeah, I am using virtual desktops, but I just have a shortcut on my mouse. So I have a macro, I have a Razer Naga mouse, and I have a macro I can show you, right? So as you can see, I have different profiles, but here, if I show you, right, I have macros on button 1 and button 2 on my mouse, right? So, or my mice would be grammatically correct to say. So you can see if I click on left desktop, you can see it's a macro, right? So when I press 1 on my mice, this is what I execute. I execute Windows, key, control, and left. When I press number 2, I execute Windows, control, right. So I just have macros on my mouse, and I'm switching between different desktops. So when I press 1 here on the mouse, I don't know if I can put it right. So when I press this guy here, see what happens. I press this. Right, so that's really what's happening. And then I go all the way to the left or all the way to the right. This is my API, usually here. In the middle desktop is usually my browser. And then all the way to the left is usually my front end, right? So basically, so when it's basically a system that you can create for yourself on where your things are. So for example, also when I'm generally, you know, for example, in the company where I work, I'm a tech lead, so I spend a lot of time in the meeting rooms with my laptop and stuff. So generally at work, I have 13-inch MacBook Pro and I'm not using an external screen. And I'm doing the same system of windows on my MacBook Pro. My MacBook Pro as well, to the left is always my client, in the middle is always my browser or whatever, and then all the way to the right is usually my API or whatever. It's basically a system you create for yourself. Of course, you don't need to have a Razer mouse. I just happen to have one. You can do those macros, you can do them on your keyboard, you can do them with various different types of software, right? So this is not to say that you need to have a mouse of any kind. Who cares, right? You can have a 5 euros mouse or 50 euros, who cares, right? You can also do it on F keys of your keyboard, whatever, right? Organize my first event. Okay, wow. What the fuck happened there? Are you kidding me? I don't use anything on my Mac. On my Mac, I basically use just I swipe with 4 fingers to the left or right, and that's what it works, right? So I don't really need anything on my Mac because again, I'm not doing anything crazy, right? But for sure, if you're doing something more crazy, then yeah. No, not on the single screen, on 3 different virtual desktops. It's the same here. You can see here I'm switching between 3 different desktops, right? So that's the point, right? It's the same monitor. It's a different virtual desktop. Virtual desktop is this. You can see here in the bottom I have 3 different desktops, right? I can create infinite amount of desktops. Each one of those you can think of it as a different screen, but it's not a different screen. It's the same screen, just different environments, right? It's a different desktop completely, right? So here I can have 5 different applications. Here I can have another 5 or 50, right? Etc. etc. right? And you can do this on any operating system. I do this on my Linux laptop. I do this on my Mac laptop, right? I do this here on this streaming computer as well, right? So it's agnostic of what operating system you're doing. It's just different way to do it on a different system, but you can do it, right? Okay. So let's just say here. Actually, I mean, I have multiple screens here as well, right? Obviously, I have a screen on top of this one where I'm reading your chat. But it doesn't matter how many screens you have. You can have a single screen and also be incredibly productive. It's never been about screens. As long as you can use virtual desktops quick enough, then you don't really need a screen, right? I use them for different purposes, yeah. Yeah, so maybe it's this one, right? Well, my MacBook Pro is naturally, Mac OS. It's not a choice, right? And then my personal laptop is running Ubuntu because, I mean, what else would I run on it? I'm not streaming from it, right? I'm not playing video games on it, so of course it's running Linux, right? I would run Linux on this machine as well if I didn't have to stream, right? And do some other things. Linux drivers are still, as they always have been, way behind any other operating system, unfortunately. Okay, but wait, shit. We pretty much need to do the same crap in here now, right? Yeah, so we pretty much need to do the same what we've done in here, right? Yep, more or less, right? More or less. So let's do that. So we're gonna do the same here. We're gonna say, let's see if Copilot is going to help us. I mean, do we actually need to have a summary of that? I guess not, right? It's actually same here. It's kind of useless information to have it twice, right? So we can do that like this, right? I'm using a default theme. It's called Dark Modern. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, beautiful. So we're almost there, I think. So let's do this conditional operator. That's pretty much what we're missing, right? We go here, we go to some event. Yeah, we always have 30, 40, well, I'm lying, from 20 to 40 followers. So that's not new, right? I mean, it's great. I mean, I'm happy that some people are finding the stream useful, and that's always a good indicator, right? For sure. No question about that. I'll get to that in a second. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, spam. Okay, so yeah, so now we can clearly see that we're getting into the trouble of, yeah, our URLs basically not being sustainable enough here, right? So if we get over here, this manage is not sufficient anymore. So yeah, we can't do that anymore, right? So we need to do something about it, right? Just think here for a second. But that's the problem, right? So you can see here we have no state that we're relating this to, right? It's like, what are we actually, which meetup are we actually in right now? And that's the problem, right? And we need to change that. So manage meetup and then meetup slug or whatever, right? Let's actually take a look at that very quickly. Give me a second. So it's okay, right? As we are refactoring this, we're learning some new things about it, right? So actually, if I go back to meetups, Let's see what, I don't actually remember how we designed this model in the API. So meetup has a slug. Beautiful. Okay, well let's do that then, always, right? So we're gonna go to the dashboard over here, and we're gonna say when we manage this, we expect a slug, right? So we're gonna say slug. And respectfully here, we can also say slug. And then also we'll anticipate the event slug as well. And we'll see about that in a second, because what happens if there's no slug, right? Do we still render that route or do we not, right? And now, let's actually see, we must have some redirects at certain places that get us there, right? So here, for instance, we have this one, right? So here we probably want to say, we want to create a template literally instead of a string, right? And we want to say meetup.slug. Yeah, this is for editing, right? That's great. And then slash, right? Events.slug. And the reason why this is very important is because, as you can see now, we're actually using HTML5 history state, HTML5 history API that supports the state. You can carry over the state when you navigate somewhere. But if you would bookmark this dashboard URL right now at this current state of this dashboard, you wouldn't get there because we're not supporting URL-based state yet, right? So we're gonna try to do that now. Then if we get over here, right, we need to do the same, and this is for creating a new one, right? So the question now is, what's gonna happen if, yeah. So, don't think that's gonna work, but let's see. So here we need to say this slug, right? If we go down to the browser, if we go over here, let's see what happens if I click edit. Yeah, that's not quite what I wanted, right? Manage meetup. Getting back to Spam TV in a moment. Let me just, so dashboard meetup. It's kind of funny though that dashboard meetup, where do we actually, I guess, so if I, so yes, so, interesting. I see. Organize and manage your meetups. Organize a meetup. No. Manage meetup. Yeah, and I guess here we're missing the actual meetup.slug, right? To say item.slug in this context, right? 25 gold, my friend. Good evening. Okay, so now we can see manage meetups, and then here's the meetup slug. Now this way, now we can actually get back somewhere and blah blah blah, right? And then do many other things. So if I go edit meetup, should still work. If I say this, which is good. Now we actually, if something was actually shown here, we could. So let's see. So if I go back, so organize my first meetup, let's see, organize my first event, actually, sorry. So over here, yeah, so here we need to update this now, event. Yeah, and the problem now is that we no longer have that, that thing, right? And that's now another problem that we have to deal with. Give me a second here. So meetups, edit, that's great. Now it works, right? Shit. That's what it is. That's how it is, right? So we'll need to do slight changes here. Yeah, that's not gonna fully work, but it's fine. So meetup slug, this is gonna open a single meetup slug. This is gonna open a new form for the new one. Yeah, let's try that. I go into single meetup. I want to actually organize one. That works. What if I... That's, I guess, okay. So go in here. This is a single one. Organize a new one. Yeah, maybe this is actually okay. Yeah, maybe we actually don't even need this. JS Maniac, buddy, thank you very much for coming by, man. Sleep well. I wish you a great night, man. Organize a meetup, manage meetup. So yeah, this is now also problematic, right? Because now we need one route for creating it, another one. So the question now is, should we basically break them down into two different kind of components? One being called you know, create meetup, another one edit meetup or view meetup, right? So that's now questionable, right? Edit meetup, so that's going to work. Organize an event, organize my first event. That also works. Yeah. So let me actually do one thing. So if I go back to my API, let's go to our database. Let's go to development, Postgres tables. No, it's not Postgres. Which public, I guess. Yeah, tables. Let's go meetups, and let's just get rid of those duplicates, right? So I'm gonna get rid of those fellas and those fellas that we created multiple times. Let's get back over here. So we have this guy now that we edit. Let's organize a meetup for it. This is my first event for that thing. What did we actually say when we made an event? Handle create event, right? So what do we want to do? I guess we want to wait for that, and then we want to navigate to... No, not really, no. So it's going to be dashboard. Yeah, so we want to navigate pretty much here, right? Dashboard, meetup about, meetup slug, right? Yep, maybe. Let's see. So create. I suppose we did create it already. Cannot read property ID. Handle create event. So meetup ID, I see. So it doesn't actually know what the meetup is, right? So let's see. Probably because our HTML5 history state is no longer there. So this thing is most likely undefined or something. Let's try that again. I mean, to be very frank with you, I think it's good that it's a bit quiet, right? Because because I need to also do some of this work, right? Otherwise, it's just I mean, I enjoy, don't take me wrong, I very much enjoy our chats and all of that stuff, right? But it's sometimes a little bit too much, right? Then I mean, and when I say it's too much, I don't even mean in a sense like it's just sometimes I wish that it's gonna be mostly just chat, because then I wouldn't even start coding. I would just then organize like, hey, a Q&A kind of type of stream, right? Because then I, you know, maybe, and some people have suggested that, and I think I'm gonna do that maybe once a week, twice a week. We can just, you know, but we need to find the balance, because some people do come because of programming, right? And I also don't want this to turn, yeah, you know, like into just chit and chat, because we need to build, right? As I need to put my money where my mouth is, right? So I cannot just come here be an influencer, right? We need to also build things, right? Otherwise, I'm just talking crap. And you know, there's yeah, like if I would tell you how many plans I have for that, it's crazy, Matty. I don't disagree with you at the slightest. 100%, it would be great. It's just I have so many ideas that what I want to do is like, yeah, it's sometimes just, yeah, impossible. I don't mean to change the subject, but I like Twitter because as programmer I can find marketing people. Any plans to get mix here? It's nice to indeed was to find business partners. Well, I mean, the thing is, let's just get this question here very quickly. I can find marketing people. Any plans to get that mix here? Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. Like, if this platform's ever becomes something, right? Because I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's first get a few thousand people, and let's actually see if this platform makes sense from the developer's point of view, right? Because it's very easy to get what you want if there's developers using the platform, right? So I'm not worried about getting people like you know, recruiters and marketing, but that doesn't worry me 1%, because I know that if we build, exactly, right, you feel me, right? So if we build the platform that we want to use, me personally first, and then everyone else, I mean, don't forget that I started building this platform because of myself primarily, because I wanted to have something clean and simple, somewhere where I can spend 10-15 minutes a day without getting distracted. So absolutely, right? But that can only happen if that I build something of value first and foremost for developers, because marketing fellas and stuff, they will always come where the value is, right? Oh, if we make something out of this platform, I mean, getting them here is the least, right? What's your opinion on pair programming? I think pair programming is the most amazing thing that exists. I think pair programming is incredibly amazing and useful. I really love. My pleasure, man. Thank you for the question. It's a very good question. I love pair programming, Matty, a lot, and we do that. I incentivize people at Dream Data to do that a lot because I think it's great. It's great for building relationships amongst developers. It's great for thinking out loud. It's great for knowledge sharing. It cuts, in many cases, it cuts a lot of back and forth in code reviews, etc, etc, etc. If done properly, of course, it can be incredibly powerful weapon. It's not for everybody. Some people are very shy. Some people are very stressed when they have to sit with someone else. But then you could say technically those people probably should be doing that the most, right? So if you feel stressed when you need to talk to other developers, when you need to, right? You know, you see me, I'm here sometimes sitting in front of hundreds of you and talking, right? That didn't just come naturally. Like, I didn't just start, you know, I've been teaching for 5 years, a couple of years ago, so I had a lot of opportunity to talk out loud and think out loud to get the confidence of doing so. So that's what also pair programming is great for. It can get you talking, it can get you thinking, right? So I think, Matt, the pair programming is absolutely amazing. I love pair programming. I'm way more productive when pair programming than when not. Sometimes I have my product manager, Steen, the best product manager I've had in my life. Sometimes I tell him, Steen, if you want me to finish this in 5 minutes, just sit behind me and watch what I'm doing, please. And he just sits behind me, and I'm like, yeah. I just enjoy people sitting beside me when I'm coding. It's just crazy. There is a meetup. I mean, this meetup feature is already live, but I'm basically copy pasting some of the features from here, and I'm just want to do it better, and I want to do it for programmers. But you can, for example, here in Copenhagen, if I search for JavaScript meetup, right? Let's say Copenhagen, where I live. I'm sure there's gonna be something. Intro to JavaScript, and this is another thing. If you have an opportunity to physically attend physical meetups in your area, this is the best place to network, to meet new people, to meet recruiters, to look for a job. So if you can, definitely go attend meetups, right? Without a question. No worries, no worries. State meetup. So we basically then send you back to... I wrote that myself, yes. I'm using another JSON schema validator, AJV, on both ends, but in the front end, I built the whole library myself, including this use form hook that I use. I also built that myself, yeah. And this is all going to be open source, so that's why this library that I linked here, this thing that I linked here in the chat, you're going to soon have most of this in here. So keep in mind that, give it a star, right? So in the next couple of streams, we're going to be turning Programmer Network's core library, the UI library and validation as well, into this Luigi thing. So just FYI. All right, Jesus Christ, man. It's just going to be a standard package, yeah. I'm going to install it in Programmer Network and just import the components. Yes. Yes. It's going to be... Flash, my pleasure. Okay, let me see what the TV wrote. Let me just scroll up and see what your question was. Any ideas on what most businesses online prefer, such as use to keep their names safe? More often use trademarks, or are they just limited companies? I mean, to be very honest with you, Spam TV, I don't know, right? I don't think I'm the right. That part of product, that part of company, I didn't explore much, right? I think you would need a lot of money to protect your brand worldwide, right? And you need to get yourself in a place where you can. So, for instance, nobody can prevent you now to buy programmernetwork.info right now, right? And stuff like that. So that's a very unknown, shallow, or very deep, to say, field of law, right? And digital what is it called? I forgot the term now. I just said it in my mind. So I don't actually know. I think ChatGPT would be a great place to ask, because I'm sure it has a lot of data that's publicly available on that. But what I do know is that you can't just do that. You can't just buy a domain name, for example, or register a company and now, because in simple words, the world isn't unipolar, right? So how can you prevent someone in China to use your brand, right? You can't, right? You can prevent someone in China to use your brand in your country, sure, but you can't prevent them to use that name in China, right? So it all has different ways of interpretations, right? And vice versa. I mean, how can someone from China prevent you to use some brand in your own country, right? So I don't know much about that, but I know that it's always expensive, especially for small companies, because a lot of those rules are actually made. A lot of those rules are made for corporations to have advantage over us anyway, right? And that's the unfortunate thing, right? Well, I think in your country, no matter, I mean, I have a company open now for more than 10 years, right? The company that you open in your country and name it in a specific way, nobody in your country can register the company with the same name, right? That I think goes from sole trader to LTD and stuff like that, right? I'm pretty sure, right? But the best person to ask on that is you go to your local court in your country and you ask them there, I'm sure, or you give them a call, right? You don't have to ask ChatGPT about it. If you're talking just about local stuff, then I think the best place to ask would be yeah, that now we're getting into, yeah, so you are quite young, right? So that I don't know. In the country where I was born, you can't open a company until you're 18, right? And even if you could, then I mean, because you're technically not even legally allowed to work, right? In most places. And why do you need a company at the first place, right? What it is that you want to do with the company. All right, I'm gonna focus now a bit and then getting back to chat again, okay? Because I really need to finalize this, because there's a lot of those states now that are kind of annoying me, I must admit. So let me focus a bit and then we get into that discussion again. All right, getting back to you, Spam, again. Let's maybe try to figure it out together. Yeah, okay. Abo, good evening, buddy. How are you? And good, just trying to round up the dashboard stuff. There's still some stuff left because there's a lot of states and stuff, and then I want to break down the move all the components of this library, kind of open source them, just move them to this library that's linked here in the chat. On top of it, you can see it. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Meetup is editable. Let's do this. Let's kinda get rid of this. Okay, so well, yeah, that's not too bad. That's what I wanted, right? So it's okay, but yeah, I'm not super happy that we're not done with this yet, but yeah. Well, I actually did start streaming at 9, which is the standard time when I generally streamed, right? Sometimes in the weekend I stream earlier, right? Because my wife and kid maybe went somewhere, but generally, yeah, I usually start, because I come from work and stuff, so I can only stream really in the evening, right? After work and after my kid is asleep and stuff, right? Then we'll need an organized event to work. So yeah, so I would say it's more of a standard, right? Unfortunately, right? I mean, don't take me wrong, I wish. If you mean, am I using Docker for development? Yeah, to run Postgres and Redis locally, yes. Not to develop front end and back end. But yeah, the whole infrastructure is based on Docker, yeah. Everything that's deployed is in Docker, yes. So yeah, so this cancel, wait a minute. So if I go here, I guess that's the problem, right? Redux Saga. Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much for the follow. Manage. Yeah, I suppose that's the problem, right? Yep. Hello, my brother. Good evening, man. Alright. What the fuck is that? Thank you everybody for your follows. Oh yeah, I see what's happening. All right, it's a bloody HTML5 state, right? So we need to kind of, it's okay, right? We're gonna save a lot of. Speaking of React, should I go JS? Well, if you're using TypeScript, then you should really. Well, I think you also have to. You know, use the TSX extension, right? Just a TypeScript JSX, right? Okay, so that's actually good now. Edit meetup, yeah. Edit meetup edits the meetup, right? This should edit this event. Then it should take me back there, right? Maybe now whatsoever, right? Yeah, it's just like it's a very simple thing, but there's so many states, right? So this is inherently a very simple thing that I'm doing now. There's nothing really mind-blowing about what I'm doing. The problem is that there's just like there's so much you know, limao limao, fucking childish language, man. It kills me every time. Go to this gamers course streaming, and the discussion is on a level of an ape. Limao, Roffelmao, lolcopter, whatever. All right, so that's I think that's fair, right? Yeah, that's not terrible, right? Now I suppose over here, if I click update, yeah, we're not just doing anything, right? That's also, so yeah, we're actually slightly slow, sure, but we're getting there. Thank you everybody for the follows, appreciate it very much. Okay, so update event, and what do we want to do? Well, we probably want to go back here, right? Again. So we do this and we head back to right? So when we update, Dimitrovich, my friend, good evening. And then cancel should do the same, right? Beautiful. Super, super. We could technically kind of, in this scenario here, we could technically, I use MacBook Pro for my work, yes, for my full-time job. I'm not a fan of anything, it's just an operating system, so I don't glorify companies, and I'm not a fan of any company on the planet. But is MacBook Pro a great computer? It's probably, and arguably, or non-arguably, the best laptop ever made. But am I a fan of Apple? Definitely not. Not a fan of anyone or anything. All right, that's great, super. So kind of we got somewhere there, right? So let's go to the whole end-to-end thing. So I'm using MacBook Pro 13-inch, so where is it? Give me a second. So this is my work laptop. Well, you're not gonna see, I guess, from this, but this is the 13-inch. And it's a great computer. And yeah, it's just, it's really, that's just it. It's just a computer, right? It's just a computer with yet another operating system, right? Yo, thank you very much, buddy. Thank you. But what do you think? I mean, honestly, what is to think, right? If you need more screen, if you like that, smaller the screen, more mobility, it's lighter, it's easier to carry. Bigger the screen, it's heavier, left some pain in your shoulders, right? So depends what you need it for. If you're gonna move a lot, right? If you're gonna, I bike 10 kilometers a day to work, right? 5 in one direction, 5 in another. I like my laptop to be super lightweight, right? So it really depends. Every specification, every configuration has positive and negative things. So what I think is probably relevant in your context, right? Because it's about what you think, right? It's about really what you it's really about what you want, right? What it is that you need, right? Is there again, what is a really large workload? You would need to define that for me. There's no performance differences between them. They all have the same chipset, same motherboard, same CPU. The screen is the only different thing, right? So performance-wise, there's no difference, right? I mean, the screen doesn't have. You get what I mean? Screen doesn't have much to do with right? With screen doesn't have much to do with performance, right? Well, have nothing to do with it, right? Wait, how the hell did I get there? I see. So let's actually handle this guy. So let's say if undefined well, actually technically, right? Technically. So we can say if type of index is not a number, now, right? Spam TV. Have a good night, my friend. Thank you very much. And Foji, no problem, man. Good questions. Just again, it's whenever you're buying anything, ask yourself what do you need it for, and what is it that you value the most, and that's really it, right? Yeah, for sure, Spam. I'm here, you know, we're gonna hang out hopefully for a long time, so let's discuss it anytime, man. Good evening, people on YouTube. A few people are writing on YouTube, so type of index is not a number. Actually hitting that at all? Yeah, that's a bit awkward. Oh, index is -1. Okay, well, that's I see. So that's actually great. Even better. So let's just say, yeah, okay, sure. It's cryptic a bit. Yeah, sure, I agree. But it's better than what it was, right? Because if we go here and go back, it should really get us to where we were, right? Actually, no, let's see. Bam. Go here. Go back. Yeah, okay, at least, right? So it's not terrible, but at least we're not getting undefined anymore, right? That was kind of very buggy. Let's keep that there for a moment. And then you should be able to go to the stuff, right? Yeah. All right, let's kind of push this to production already. It's gonna be an npm package, Matt. Yes, it's gonna be a standard npm package. Yes. The idea, so basically, there are two reasons why I've decided to move that into an open source package, right? Two reasons. One reason is that a lot of you, maybe not you included, Matty, maybe yes, have asked how can you contribute, right? So it's gonna be open source, it's gonna be public. It's because I want to start giving some features to you guys to build. So for example, the idea is I'm gonna give you an open spec API, a Swagger document of what API might return, and then you can build and contribute to this project by building the full kind of front end for it by actually not, I mean, this is how you would do it anyway, right? And then this way I could also kind of get on board full-time co-founder of this eventually, or co-contributor, right? Because in the past I got some people to the team, they haven't done much. So now actually this can almost be a triage in a way. Like, you want to actually contribute to this project, yes, well, you can contribute in a certain way, and then if I see that you're working on it, then you can actually join me for real and have access to everything, right? And then there's a second reason, is that if we decide to build some other sub-project of Programmer Network, I can use the same core library. Do you use Next.js? No, I do not. Well, why would I use it? You tell me why. Why would I use it? What would Next.js do for me? What? That's not an, I mean, yeah, but that's not an argument. That's, I hope you're not making technical decisions based on if something is popular or not. I genuinely hope so. Justin Bieber is also popular, right? Hitler was popular as well, etc., right? So I hope you're not making decisions in life based on popularity, right? Because many things in life are and were popular, which doesn't mean they were good, right? And I'm not, this is not to say that Next.js is bad, but I'm saying that's not a technical argument, right? That's an unfortunate argument of our community. And a lot of people are, unfortunately, especially less experienced people, falling into the trap of right, can fall into that trap of, well, you should use something because it's popular, right? But that boy can sing. Okay, if you say so. All right, we have a few more people joining today. That's lovely. Okay, edit meetup, great. Super. Wow. Okay. Super strange. Then wait a minute. That's a bit awkward. Did we actually break this in locally as well? Let's take a look. Or maybe some regression or something. Let's see. Probably some maybe discrepancy with the data. Let's see. 2 course not found. Okay, that's a bit awkward. Okay. Is it maybe because it's a draft of some sort or something? Yeah, because shit. I guess we haven't. Give me a second. That's actually fine. Testing meetup events. There's no organized meetups. That's all events. No, so it's actually fine. Oh, so yeah, so we'll need to still do a few of those things. Beautiful. Okay, super cool. Because didn't I have like publish and unpublish as well? Yeah, right. So yeah, so we forgot about that. So here in a meetup, we're missing publish and unpublish, right? Course, no, yeah, meetup is generally no, never mind. So that's something else then. Let's see. If I just go back here to production, meetup. Actually, if I go to my dashboard instead, meetups, that's all. Why did you choose React instead of Angular? I don't think it matters, man. I think the only thing that matters is how comfortable you are with any of them. I've wrote AngularJS 10 years ago, right? I've wrote Vue.js as well. It also contributed to it. So it's a good question, right? But there's no reason, right? Each one of these frameworks, those modern libraries are great, right? And they do the same thing more or less, right? The reason why I use React is because there are 2 reasons. It's the most popular one and it's the most used. Sorry, it's the most popular one and it's the easiest one. And when I say popular, I need to be very explicit here. It's more the most popular in a sense of market, of a job market, right? But even more important thing, it is very easy. It's very simple. React is probably and arguably the easiest UI library ever made, right? I don't think ever, and I've been writing this part of web for 15-16 years now professionally, nothing was simpler than React. Even jQuery in enterprise grade projects, if any of you ever worked, actually was incredibly complicated. Because React fundamentally is just a simple library that makes a single component, right? And that's really all that there is to it. Then you add a router to it and other things and state, whatever, whatnot. But fundamentally, that's what React is. You build a component, right? jQuery is great, don't take me wrong. I loved jQuery a lot and I still love it. It's just, if you ever worked on a huge project with jQuery back in the day, that was oftentimes very difficult, right? Because one thing why frameworks need to exist is to support the business. Frameworks exist because if they didn't exist, onboarding new people, hiring would be impossible. Because now you join one company that does this stuff this way, then you join another company, they're doing routing this way, state this way, right? So we need the standards, right? Yeah, sure. I mean, you can technically say that about any technology, right? You can say that about any framework. The point is, right, it's good that we have 3 very strong players, Angular, Vue, and React, and no matter what they are, let's call them X, Y, and Z, right? It's very good that 3 of them have really captured a huge part of the market, because making it easier for all of us to get a job and also for companies to hire, right? Because if you had 10 popular solutions, then it would be like, well, not technically 10 times harder for us developers, but it would be a lot harder because now you had 10 things to potentially learn, because 1 out of 10 might be used in a certain company. Now, for the most part, you have either Angular, and you have some other players like Stencil.js and all of this new stuff. Let me tell you, it's a very good question. Let me show you how that works, right? Because I've been part of almost every modern framework that's since Knockout.js, Ember.js, so I kind of worked professionally since those days. And let me tell you what happened. Let me just draw it for you. I think let me show you. So let me show you what happened. I think it's going to be very interesting. So let me do it like this. So basically, around 2000, around 2000 something, right? So let's say around 2000s, we wrote jQuery, right? And back then there were some other players like Ember.js, Knockout.js, etc., right? If I recall well, and I don't actually remember, I don't remember exactly the ages when some of those things came out. I think Angular.js might have came out around 2008. Let me just check. 2010. Okay. So Angular.js was released in 2010. So, and I think React.js was released in 2012. Let me just show you my point in a second. 2013. Okay, let me show you what happened, right? So this is the trajectory of how modern frameworks evolved. So around 2000s, we used jQuery, right? And then as we saw in 2010, Angular.js came out, right? What happened back then, right? What happened back then was amazing, right? We had a huge bump we had this was jQuery, and then we had a huge massive jump that looked like this in quality in a way. Even though that version of Angular today, you can say, oh my god, that sucks. Back then it was amazing, right? We had gulp and grunt and modules and dependency injection, bunch of the stuff, right? So this was Angular, right? And then what happened then after that? Well, then React.js came out, right? And that was a huge bump as well, right? So Angular.js came out React.js came out in 2013. And this was a huge bump, right? A huge bump, right? And then even you, at one point, he made Vue.js, right? And I met this guy. In 2016-17 on nodejs conference in Paris. I went there with my wife. And this guy looked at React and he looked at Angular. He got inspired and he made Vue.js. Right now. Okay, so what is my point here? I didn't get to my point yet, though. My point is this, right? So if you're wondering why are newer tools not able to gain popularity, is because those bumps that we see here are almost linear. Because now you have basically like give me a second, where is it? Now you have something like this, right? And this is Angular, this is React, this is Vue.js. They're kind of almost the same, right? And in order for the community to use something newer, you would need those huge bumps again. The same bumps that when we moved from jQuery to Angular.js. It was like a huge upgrade. So the biggest problem with those newer modern tools is like, right, so basically, so until we have another huge bump, so here, this is now React and the modern stuff, right? So like this is now current modern frameworks. In order for anything really to take over, we need not a bump like here. This is not no sane company, no sane CTO, no sane developer. It's gonna switch from this to this, right? Because it's 6% better, 12% better, right? Even though it's hard to measure, right? You need 100% improvement for companies to switch, right? It's not sufficient, man. I mean, we don't talk about nobody cares about code, right? We're talking about hiring, productivity, knowledge that we gathered. I mean, React.js, for example, is out for 10 years, right? That's a huge amount of knowledge accumulated on the internet, accumulated amongst developers, a lot of consultants, a lot of people that you can hire. So no sane CTO is going to switch to anything just because, again, it's 13.7%, right? better. So that's the point. So if you're wondering, well, how come that no new things are coming out and being useful? They're coming out, right? But they're not taking over. They're not taking over because they're not bringing sufficient improvements. Again, like this is Angular now, React, and Vue.js, for example, and they're pretty stable, right? In order to overtake those guys, you need to get here, not here, right? This is not enough. Again, community is not going to switch because something is 20% better, 30%, not even 50% better. You need to get a huge improvement to make the developers interested into switching now to something completely new, right, etc., etc. I mean, this is not a paint class, man. I mean, this is just a simple presentation. If you want a painting, then this is not it, right? If you don't get what I'm saying in those 3 dots, then I don't think that any other painting is going to... But anyway, you get the point, right? So that's why, right, those 3 things are just the kings, right? Because nothing else that came out is sufficiently better that some organization is going to spend few $1 million or euros refactoring to, because, oh my god, it compiles your code during build time. Who the fuck cares, man? Nobody cares, right? You need way more than that to sell that to, not to developers. Developers in this industry, especially in JavaScript industry, are mostly, I wouldn't say dumb, but very prone to just, I mean, we just had a question a few minutes ago, why are you not using something because it's the newest, right? So this mentality of so-called engineers, it's already here. But if you're talking about to business owners, you now go to your co-founder and tell him, hey, co-founder, how about we spend 3 million euros next year just rebuilding everything because it's new, right? So you need to have concrete value to offer why you want to do something. And you can't, right? Because again, all of those 3 technologies are very stable and you need to just build something that's better than that, right? That's, yeah, that's really all that there is to it. That's just how it is. That's just how it is, right? Do you have tips on React? No, I do not have that, no. Your clients don't even know. What? I'm not sure what you mean, your clients. It doesn't matter, clients never know what you're using. That's... You're not supposed to scroll to the footer on the feed. You can scroll to the footer on any other page. Yes, there's actually no footer on the feed at all. If you're on the feed, the footer is actually hidden. Rebecca, my friend. Sako, oh my god. The core team is coming. Of course, Matty. Because our job is to enable organizations to make money and to pay salaries, right? So for sure, man, for sure. And also, that's true, documentation is very good, yes. But there's no documentation on the planet to write clean code, whatever the clean code is. To write good code or to do anything good in life, you need to practice. There's no such thing like, let me read an article so I can write a clean code. That's relative, and also it's a matter of practice, right? You cannot read an article and become a tennis player. It doesn't work. If it worked that way, then everybody would be perfect, right? Okay, so this shit, what the... Yeah. So let's organize an event. I don't have Markdown support. I'm using TipTap.js. In some parts of this product, we are writing tests, yes. Not everywhere we're writing them when it makes sense. What did I want to do? Organize an event. Organize event. Yep, it's this crap, right? Yeah. tab, so got it. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, I'll just push that very quickly to production as well. Sako, my friend, Rebecca, how are you guys doing? What's up? How's life? Sako, when are we meeting, man? When are we having a coffee, dude? It's long overdue. Diana is no longer working, so I'm free now a lot more than before, man. Top tier streamer. Top tier streamer. Yeah, man, same. You let me know. How is your better half, man? Is she good? How is she feeling? TCK, oh my god, look who is here. It's been so long, man, since I saw you. How you doing, man? We're using relative paths, yes. I have interviews and stuff for the time being. Yeah, just keep me posted, man. Just keep me posted. It's really like, yeah, I guess yeah, just keep me posted. Not puking so much, got it. Just let me know when that goes, how that goes, and then we can meet. Read title. What is this? This is actions. Meetup. What the fuck is this? Ah, I see. Where we program network? I mean, as always, making progress. TCK, as always, making progress. What is to say? Building new things, getting more people signed up, having fun. Pretty much, that's it. Where we are, yeah, it's going forward, man. It's a side project that's fully built in the stream, right? So it's a challenge, but we're managing. I'm managing, right? I'm managing. What about you, TCK? I haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been? Yeah. This is an evening thing, right? And I wouldn't call it a grind, but you could use the word grind for sure to illustrate. But anything in life, right, that you want to do is a set of passion, motivation, and consistency, right? And passion and motivation, they are often overrated, right? Because you assume that in order to do anything in life, you have to be motivated, which is impossible. And that's the reason why most people fail to achieve anything long term, because you create this image how you can only do things when you're motivated, but that's not true. You need to be continuous, constant, and yeah, you just have to keep showing up. That's really... I find it quite difficult to choose the right framework and language to build something. For example, why would I implement REST API with Express instead of Java? There are many reasons why you would want to do that, right? So there are many reasons, right? Let's read this question, right? I find it quite difficult to choose the right framework and language to build something. For example, why would I implement a REST API with Express instead? Well, first, you should not use Express anymore at all. If you're writing JavaScript and APIs in Node, you should not be using Express anyway. You should be using Fastify and many other things. Maybe nodejs, but you should be using Fastify if you ask me. But anyway, that's besides the point, right? This is I mean, this can be answered in so many ways, right? What it is that you're building. If you're building some hello world thing at home, nobody cares what you're using, right? I mean, for the most part, the choice of technology mostly affects things which are outside of technical domain. So in most cases, because your brain is thinking, Why should I implement any of this? And when you ask this, you're thinking about performance. But I don't think that any of you in this chat have ever, almost with exceptions of few maybe, have ever actually reached performance issues. How many of you actually have ever built an API that couldn't serve a sufficient amount of users? Probably none of you, maybe some of you, right? So when you're thinking about those technologies, you have to think about outside of the domain of performance. How easy it is for me to hire a JavaScript developer next relative to, and why are you mentioning Rust? What Rust have to do with this? Are you saying that you're going to build an API in Rust? That's not what Rust is for, and I doubt that you ever... Yeah, so we can get rid of that, right? But the point here is being, right, is like you have to get out of the mind of a developer, right? You would use Express or JavaScript because probably it's... But again, it really depends what you're talking about. This is not sufficient for a reasonable answer. I don't know what it is that you're building. Is it a fun home project? Is it some... So your intention is unclear. If you just wanna... If you're an entrepreneur mindset, you wanna build a product that you wanna try to sell, then what you're using is irrelevant, right? Or to say you wanna use something that gets you there the quickest and gets you to hire people the quickest if you succeed, right? Now, this Java, Golang, Rust, I doubt that you have ever in your career yet reached the performance issues, right? I doubt that you have. That's the biggest irony of especially YouTubers and people here in Twitch is that everybody is talking about performance. Everybody. But no people for more than a year that I've been streaming here have actually ever said, gave me a concrete example where they actually had performance issues, right? I chose Fastify because it's a beautifully designed nodejs framework, or to say library. I didn't choose because it's fast or slow. I chose it because it's something that I can use to build things very fast, right? But you guys constantly keep coming with performance suggestions, and I then ask a follow-up question, a logical question. Tell me the instances in which you had performance issues, not some abstract, holistic, majestic streamer out there where you heard something. I'm asking you and the other guy, whoever comes here, they talk about performance. But then I ask them, name one instance in which you built a PHP API, Go, Node.js, whatever, and the answer is always silence. So that's the whole point, right? The whole community is constantly talking about some Netflix instance or some Amazon right? So none of you actually ever had performance issues in your lives, so what are we even talking about here? People come here and say this is slow, and then I ask them, okay, tell me how it is slow. When was it slow for you? Well, it wasn't really slow for me. I read this Medium article that John337K lol wrote, and he says that PHP is slow. It must be true, right? Come on. I mean, we need to be more reasonable than that, right? Yeah, but again, I never for 1.5 years of streaming heard a single argument yet. And this is why I'm genuinely trying to help all of you. Because you have to also rely on your own experience. We cannot just be talking all of this bullshit all the time. We cannot constantly talk this crap, right? You get what I mean, right? We constantly keep talking about performance, but nobody says anything of the value or substance, right? It's like, well, we need front-end frameworks which are performance-oriented. What performance, man? We need more context to discuss those things. We cannot talk so shallow, man. I mean, this community of programmers, because it's mostly hipsters now, it hasn't been like this 15, 20 years ago. People who used to call themselves engineers, they would actually try to formulate their opinions based on something. Now, you know, you just have a bunch of people who go watch a YouTube video, or YouTube short video that somebody says, oh, Node.js fucking sucks, it's slow. And boom, formulated opinion, super hard opinion in your head. You cannot call yourself an engineer, right? And think like this. You cannot call yourself engineer and inherit opinions based on no proof, no data to support. You're just like fucking parrot, man. Just like, this is slow, this is fast. Well, why? Well, I don't know why. Shut the fuck. Okay, I get triggered because I just heard it so many times. I'm sorry. Yeah, all right. That's just how it is, man. We need to kind of be more mature than that, right? We cannot follow this super toxic, influencer type of shit, right? We can't. It's not healthy. There's a bunch of people talking stuff without context, right? I don't know, some of you were here 2 months ago. There was some dude who came to this stream and he said this: I can't wait for Bun.js to replace Node.js. And I asked why, and he said, well, because Node.js is so slow. And I said, okay, wow, okay, so can you tell me where was Node.js slow for you? And you know what he said? He said, well, I never use Node.js. And I'm like, dude, okay, so you can't wait for a technology to replace another technology that you never used. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, so you see where I'm coming from. There's so many people coming and saying this shit that it's mind-blowing to me. And that person called himself an engineer. Like, come on, man. Cloudflare has nothing to do with Netlify and Vercel. Cloudflare is a service that adds a lot of security, CDN in front of your stuff, etc., etc. So those products are not comparable at all. Cloudflare has nothing. Maybe you're talking about Cloudflare pages, and Cloudflare pages are indeed a place. Programmer Network frontend is also hosted on Cloudflare pages, but don't misunderstand Cloudflare as a whole product with those services. They have nothing to do with each other. Cloudflare is a CDN, the Edge, VPN tunnel, firewall, and hundreds of other products, right? So don't mistake those things. Is GitHub Copilot worth paying? Absolutely. 100% it is. Yes. Anything that saves you even 2 hours a month is worth paying $10, let alone saving you tens of hours. So if you're ever wondering if something is worth paying for, then take your average hourly rate, figure out how much that tool is saving you hours, and then figure out if it's worth paying for. Pretty much, yo-yo, pretty much. That's the mentality, yes. And to hire a person, I need to go to the Alps, or I need to go to the mountains of Tibet to find that Rust developer. Yep. Very, very, very good business decision to do. Peak of Everest, exactly. Yeah, again, I mean, I will never allow this stream to become some place where we just shit on things, right? This is why I'm also, after a year, having 60-70 people watching me, because this is never going to become an influencer type of bullshit, right? Because I went to some of those 2 or 3 other popular guys on Twitch, and it's mostly that. Shit on this, crap on that, read Twitter for the whole stream. I'm not gonna allow it, right? If we want to have technical discussions, we have to be more than just shallow on things. Oh, this fucking sucks, and then the whole chat, oh my god, PHP sucks, ha 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 ha. Like, come on, man. I mean, what are we, 7 years old here? Come on. We can do better than that, right? All right, great, super. So that kind of works. Okay, let me just take a look at one thing though. No, I mean, it's fine that you share your own opinion. Look, it's fine that you write something like that on chat. I don't give a shit, right? That's just a statement. It's not a question, right? But if you come and ask me why I'm doing something and then you can't provide argumentation, that's different. It's fine that TCK thinks that Rust is shit, whatever, right? It's also us developers, we're not very socially right. Sure, and that's it. No, and exactly. I think Plush, that's exactly it. That's exactly my point. I fully support you, 100%, 100%. So I'm with you 1,000,000%. Yes. And TCK is, I think based on our discussions, I think he's a very good developer, and we had very good discussions indeed. Shit. Okay, so let's see, for example, yeah. Matty, my friend, love you, dude. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you a good night, man. I'm not sure what that is. What is T3 stack? I've never heard of that before. Thank you, Matty, man. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't have any backend state. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. Let me Google it. Hipstery T3 stack. Oh, I think somebody sent this to me before then. The best way to start full stack type safe Next.js app. Yeah. I mean, cool. If it works, yeah. I think somebody, yeah. I can see that I clicked on this before. Somebody shared this with me before. I mean, great. If it works for you, beautiful. Yep. Superman. Okay, so is there any chance that we do something more today, though? I mean, look, as I always say, right? Whatever you use, it can be any tool, right? As long as you're building something, that's all that matters, right? I mean, at the end of the day, right? There were always tools out there. There have always been millions of choices, right? And the saddest thing of all is that out of all these choices, you're not building anything. So that's the whole point, right? So now, you know, do you prefer framework X, language X over language Y? Sure, I mean, we are engineers and that's why we're here to discuss that. I get that. But at the end of the day, the saddest thing of all is that if you're in the sea of all of these choices, you're actually not building anything that anyone is ever using. So, right, so you get what I mean. So that's all that matters at the end, right? Because everything else is just, who cares, man, right? Hey, Alex, I was sent to... what did you ask me, Sako? I'm sorry, there were like so many different things. Second favorite road. But why do you need Kubernetes? That's my first question. Why would you need Kubernetes? I mean, why would you need Kubernetes on something you have 0 users on? That's instant. To learn for work. Okay, well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Sako, give me 2 seconds. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Ratetti or whatever. That's good to say. You want to learn something, and that's fair enough, right? That's instantly changes this discussion. Because what you use then yeah, I would be very careful what it is that you're trying to learn, Kubernetes or the language that you want to use, right? Because that's now another question. What it is that you want to learn. You cannot learn 3 things at once, right? You cannot learn both, no. You will not, then you will fail and you will not learn neither of them. Kubernetes is incredibly hard. And people who work for years with it are still struggling with some things. So you cannot learn a completely new programming language, the whole ecosystem of that language, and Kubernetes at once. Nobody has ever achieved that. And I somehow doubt you will achieve it too, right? So that's not a great plan. You should focus and do one thing and be realistic and be humble, right? If you want to learn Kubernetes, that has nothing to do with the language, right? So, and don't sell me this fucking bullshit, this Vogue bullshit. Learn at your own pace. I'm not giving here advice for the sake of feelings, right? I'm trying to help the person, right? And I'm trying to help him by you know, giving him realistic advice, right? Well, I mean, you can combine 15 things, right? I can combine him 15 things, but you will not learn, you will not succeed, right? Kubernetes already on its own is super hard, right? So, sounds good, Sako, man. Let's do that. Let's do that. Just SMS me or call me, even better. You can try that, but you will not succeed. You will not succeed because there are too many things, right? Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Kubernetes is very hard, and the reason why it's hard because, of course, it can be. I have Kubernetes cluster right behind me here. Thank you, very exotic, for the prime. Thank you very much, buddy. You cannot just say I want to learn Kubernetes, right? That's also a very shallow plan. Kubernetes is huge, right? So you have to. I actually have, I think, tutorial on Kubernetes on my GitHub. I'm not actually sure. I didn't get super far with that, but I started building it. Give me a second. Bezos money. That's true, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I started some Kubernetes thing here. Yeah, but it's not sufficient to share with you, right? Either way, man, the best programming language that goes along setting up Kubernetes cluster and deploying. Setting up Kubernetes cluster and stuff takes 20 minutes, right? So that's not the hard part, right? So you know, installing, setting up few worker nodes and a master node and right. So right, but again, and if you're trying to learn what's the most common language to use in that ecosystem, it's Go. So most DevOps engineers and most the how would I say it, the most natural language for DevOps and Kubernetes is Go. And generally, Go is an amazing language, right? It's a beautiful language, probably arguably one of the most beautiful languages because it's so simple and so constrained and so well defined through idiomatic Go, right? So if you care about that, then Go is, but again, you have to start focused on something. You're not learning to program. I first want to learn how do I deploy my first service to let's say to Kubernetes. How do I then scale it? How do I, etc. And you can do that. Kubernetes has a virtual environment for that, so you don't need to have 5 physical machines. You can just do that in a VM almost, right? Lyso friend, good evening. All right, so basically, yeah, so we did some work there. If we go to this thing that I started doing here for this library that I linked in this chat, for this thing basically, so we need to start moving stuff from. So I wonder if we should do maybe one more component here and maybe give me a second. So if we go to, oh, this is our API, right? No, this is okay. It's great. No, this is Luigi, right? Yeah. Yes, I don't think we're gonna be doing more of this Luigi today, but I'll set up. All right, yeah, let's kill that now. I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. All right, so let me think. Because it's actually getting quite late, let me do one thing here. Give me a second. Give me a moment. La 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 la. All right, cool. All right, let's chat a bit. If anybody has any questions or whatever, I'm very happy that we discuss it. Rated T, Prime, thank you very much, buddy. Thank you everybody for your subs. Thank you guys, very much appreciated. Let's chat a bit more. Does anyone have any interesting statements or questions or whatever? What is a hype train? What the fuck is this, man? Some React project you recommend for portfolio? Not really, man. No, I can, like, nobody can suggest, right? Should developers bother with DevOps stuff? Yes, definitely. Definitely, yes. Yep. But why did I see... Rate, thank you very much, buddy. I wish you a good night. Have you ever had performance issues in the API? Not really, no. Because the performance, we're talking about the API here always, and generally it's almost never that the API is the bottleneck. That's the whole point. Way before your API becomes the bottleneck, it's going to be your database. So have I had performance issues before? Yes, but the API hasn't been the thing that has been the bottleneck. That's the whole point. Because in a standard non-perfect AWS grade infrastructure, your database is going to become a bottleneck way sooner than your API, right? And some other things as well. Does that DevOps stuff include cloud like AWS as well? AWS, GCP and stuff like that? No, not really. This is very specific and you would learn about this anyway in the company where you work. But you should definitely know basics of, I mean, not if you are a senior software engineer or above, you definitely have to know at least basics of what a server is, what a firewall is, how computer networks work, what is a server, what is infrastructure, what is infrastructure as code, what is, so all of those things at the very least theoretically you should know about. So absolutely 100%. Should you be a perfect DevOps engineer as a software developer? Of course not, right? I'm not saying that you should learn it, right? You cannot learn it. You have to know basic concepts of what it is. What is a host system? What is a server? What is, right? So those are just basic, and you can know that also theoretically, but it's going to help you in the discussions to at least follow what's happening, right? Well, so I don't think so. What Killer Queen said is correct, but not maybe said in the proper way. So you don't, because why are we talking about AWS? Cloud services are many. You have Azure, you have GCP, you have AWS. So you shouldn't know an AWS concept. You should know the general concepts of object storage like S3 GCP cloud storage, then you have, for example, Cloudflare storage, right? So you should know the concepts of some of those things, not specifically AWS or GCP or whatever, right? Any more statements, questions? Is Kubernetes same as Docker? No. Kubernetes is an orchestration framework. Kubernetes, in simple words, is used to orchestrate infrastructure across multiple servers. But all of these things, Redux Saga, not really part of, it shouldn't something we should be discussing here, because that question you can get the response to on Google, for instance, in 2 seconds, right? So don't take me wrong, it's more that's a very strict, very specific, easy Google type of question, right? Not to mention that ChatGPT would give you a perfect response to that. Yeah, I get you, Killer Queen. I get you. Yeah, for sure. Anything else, fellas, that we want to discuss before I head off? You have me for a couple of more minutes. Anything else I can help with or share my experience at least with? And don't forget, please, to sign up at programmer.network. At the very least, I would be very happy if you do so. It takes 2 minutes. And somebody asked about authentication, authorization, social logins in the context of Fastify. You would use JSON Web Tokens, you would use Fastify JVT, and then you would just as I did for Programmer Network, you would create respective apps on those platforms, on Twitch and LinkedIn, whatever, and then you would do a standard OAuth stuff. That's nothing I can fix, Yo-Yo. That's the problem with the GeForce experience. That's the bug that this noise cancelling algorithm that they built have in it. So unfortunately, there's no fix to it. Why do you think imposter syndrome is common? I don't think it's that common, no. I think it's just one of those points that people who want to dramatize and gain likes and things. Drama is something that pays off the most. If you're a content creator, talking crap and complaining pays off the best, right? So I don't think it's common at all. Would you rather pick the easy way with a stupid framework? I don't know what a stupid framework is, so you would need to be more specific, Lyso. Do you know any sites that have good I don't know, man. I don't know, Maeve. I'm sorry. I've been in this industry for a very long time. I don't visit such links. I don't know. You can build anything. Build a to-do app. It doesn't matter, right? Build a car shop, to-do app, banana shop, vegetable shop. Who cares, right? What the subject is. It's the same crap always. You need to build the front end, the back end. It doesn't matter what the name of the object you're building the platform for is. It can be a programmer network, cat network, porn network. It can be whatever, right? Why does it matter? What type of idea do you need, really? Take any object in your proximity right now and build a site for that. If you have a pen on your desk, build an app for storing amount of pens you have, right? Is it better to build your own login system? That depends. What do you mean by better? If you use third-party services, they cost a lot of money eventually if your user base is high. So there's no such thing as better, right? It depends on the context in which that question fits, right? Is it better if you have a running business? If you have a running business and you are making a lot of money, you certainly don't want to be building manual login or security systems. You of course want to use auth0.com or similar stuff like that. If you're building something that has no, so it depends on the context. It's not better nor worse. It depends on who you are, what the project is, etc., right? To give you the context, what am I talking about? Well, if you go to pricing here, right, you can see that basic project, small project, $35 a month. Now, if you get to the point of few thousand users, let's say 2,500 users, 175, 350, 500, 10,000 users, 700 a month. Now you ask, okay, is this peanuts? Are all those 10,000 users paying users in each? You understand what I mean? So it's a bit, you actually not see what I'm showing, but any suggestions on how to migrate from Express to Fastify? Yes, Fastify team has built Express Fastify plugin that you can use to migrate. Tailwind, yes. What do you find the most important to keep track of to not burn out? Have a family, girlfriend, boyfriend, friends, kids. Live in a community, and that's it. The safest, statistically, if we look at humanity for thousands of years, there is nothing safer than betting on your family. Is family for everybody? Of course not. Is it for most people? Of course it is. And you don't have to listen to me. There's 8 billion people on this earth, and most of them have a family. So if you don't want to burn out, you will find the balance in your family. Without family, you're screwed long term. Of course, do some exceptions. Very rare exceptions exist. Sure, right? But I mean, let's face it, right? What is safer to bet on than family, right? Probably nothing, right? Everything else is short term. Long term, if you're thinking long term, then that's at least what works for me. Again, I'm always sharing opinions, what works for me, right? Is that gonna work for you? Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. Yeah, Rebecca, I have to start doing that. Am I close to my parents and siblings? Yes, absolutely. But I'm even more close to my wife, my kid. That's my family. That's how it works. Once you get your own family, meaning you get a child and another child, then you become the more important thing to each other. But I'm very close to my parents as well, yeah. We live in a kind of, we don't live in the same country, unfortunately, anymore. I miss them a lot, but that's nature, that's biology, and I guess that's how it is. Will Java ever die? But why those questions, right? And why would I ban you? I mean, it's just like, where does this question come from, right? Will Java ever die? Why even worry about that, right? You get what I mean? Why does it matter if it's gonna die, right? Why would it die, right? I mean, it's like, don't take me wrong, I mean, I don't blame you, because you must have heard in so many places by so many influencers how Java is bad, or because every programming language is bad. If you go on YouTube and watch 5 different people, you're gonna get an impression that everything is bad, because everything inherently for us is bad unless you're using it, right? So it's kind of hilarious, right? Like, and at the end of the day, why does it matter, right? Thoughts on DI frameworks? I mean, depending who you are, right? I don't have any competence in Kotlin, so I don't know. I've never wrote Kotlin. No, I cannot, I'm not some sort of a majestic know-it-all guy, right? And keep in mind, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So don't take my opinions for granted. It's just opinions, right? But I try to be at least reasonable and objective, and I try to not give opinions on things which I don't know about, right? So that's, at least to my defense, I think the correct way for all of us to function. If you haven't used something in production, if you don't have experience on something, You don't also have to form an opinion on it. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have to have an opinion about everything, right? And that's often what us, mortals often forget about, right? You don't have to form opinion on every single thing, right? So that's how it is. That's how it is. Use whatever works for you, your business, whatever brings value, whatever brings customers, that's what you want to use, right? When is the next guitar stream? We could do it even tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. My wife now doesn't work for some time now, so I have also, her to take care of my kid. To be with Nikolai here and stuff. So yeah, we could do it very soon, Rebecca. Important question. All right. Well, I guess we have exceeded the potential questions people had, I suppose. Yeah. Let's maybe then call it a night here. It's almost midnight here. I need to go to work tomorrow, so let's round it up, fellas. Well, Drev and everybody, Rebecca, Maeve, Lyso, and the new people, ABK, Lee Babs, Redux Saga, and the rest of you, those that I forgot to mention, thank you. I wish you well. Stay well, be smart, work hard, and I'll see you guys most likely tomorrow. And thank you for the primes and subs and follows. And my pleasure, Lyso. My pleasure. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Plush Master, thank you very much. You too, man. Grind mode. Have a good night, everybody. Peace out.